Cullen has gotten a second job.
Yes.
I feel like this is a huge part of the process of us processing this. I think we can do this ourselves.
We can move a 5,200 square foot house.
I personally am like starting a whole new life. See all that stuff sitting around your house? That used to be money. This is the last time we're gonna be sitting at this island making a video.
Oh, it sure is.
Isn't it? Yeah?
Yeah, I think so. You're probably confused while you're seeing this backdrop out.
Yeah, probably so. Hey y'all.
Welcome back to
the video.
another Cullen and Katie vlogcast, vlog video, whatever you're gonna call it these days. Life update.
Is that your hair?
Yeah, I look like one
I
of
know,
those.
it's that picture frame.
One of those Angry Birds. Hey, what's up? I'm Cullen, it's my wife Katie. If you haven't seen or checked out any of our other videos, we're on a journey to get out of debt, downsizing our current living situation, downsizing our life.
So if you saw our last video, you saw we made our first trip to the new house, moved a bunch of stuff, took things down, and so you might be confused why we're back in our old house right now. We're actually making 2 trips. We did a big, like half the house last weekend. We're taking another half the house this weekend. We wanted to just talk about that, like how we decided on our moving strategy, doing it in a couple trips, why we didn't hire movers, and kind of how we're processing all of our stuff, and how much you've made on Facebook Marketplace.
Yes. Hang on, hard stop. You're probably wondering like, wait, the last video ended with like, we made it, and here's the house, and all that kind of stuff. That's coming up, so
it's coming up, next video. Next video will be moving more stuff, showing Halloween with the kids and all that stuff.
Yes.
Yeah, at the new house. We've been trying to sell this dang house for 16 months. So we've had some time to think about our strategies, but it always comes down to like, at the final step, you're like, okay, what do we actually do? How are we gonna move?
Yeah.
So we started thinking about it, and we're like, it's a 4-hour drive. If we are to hire movers and take everything in one trip, this is a 5,200 square foot house. Like, that's a bunch of stuff. If we forget something, you can't just run back and get it because it's 4 hours away. Yeah. We've found the importance of maintaining our sanity, lowering our stress levels, and allowing ourselves time to take care of ourselves. So we said, let's do it in 2 trips.
We had the fortunate availability of the house that we're moving into early,
being ready before
closing.
Right.
So we were able to have that shift in mindset too, of like, okay, we can make this stretch out a little bit and trickle in and keep the routines as normal as possible and that kind of thing. Right. The last time we moved into this house, it was a throw everything in every box as quick as you can. We thought we were packed. We packed for like a week in advance, a month in advance. We thought we were packed, but then when moving day came, it was like, oh crap, we literally aren't packed. I remember we had a box full of just like coat hangers and shampoo bottles and everything, and it was just like chaotic. The movers were over at this house till 2 in the morning, I think, unloading the truck.
Not their fault. It's because when they got there, we just weren't ready, and so we're like, I don't want to put that on anybody else again either. Us being last minute, us not being ready. We wanted to be as prepared as we could. We definitely wanted to try to maintain the kids' routines as much as possible. Totally. And we knew if we tried to do it just in one weekend of moving all of this stuff, it would be like a couple weeks of just complete and utter chaos. I want to make sure we allowed ourselves time to rest in there, which is something that's kind of hard for me to say, because in my life, that's just not been the way of life. It's been, you just go hard and you don't stop, and if you sit down to like take a nap or rest or whatever, then you're just wasting time. But I've realized how important that is in making sure that we all stay mentally stable, or maybe I'm speaking for myself.
Yeah, no, it's been great.
We were even able to like take a nap last weekend when we were at the new house as we were moving stuff in and not stress about it.
And carve pumpkins with the kids and go trick-or-treating, like those normal things that we were like patting ourselves on the back the other night.
A lot of times when you're in a transition like this, your like normal routine habits of keeping yourself healthy, eating well, and all of that take a back seat. I will say also big thanks to Noom for sponsoring this video. If y'all have heard of Noom, I talked about it back several months ago, and it is an amazing health program that's created by psychologists. So you know I'm all about that. And it's not just a weight loss program, it's not just a diet, it's an overall health program, and you can set different goals, whether that is losing weight, whether you want to just be more active, whether you want to start better habits. You have your own personal health coach that you can chat with on there. You get on every day and you spend 5 to 10 minutes on there, which I know that I spend more time than that on like Facebook every day. And just by doing that, you can see results. They have little articles, like even today, there was one that popped up, and I'm all about some information, like becoming more aware how I eat and how I function. And the one today was about mindless eating and how becoming aware of when you're mindlessly eating, like for example, finishing a whole bucket of popcorn at a movie. Like you just finished the whole thing, but had you like served a smaller portion, you'd have finished that and you'd have been perfectly fine.
Right.
Walking by the kitchen and grabbing something.
That's been the best part as far as all this moving process goes too, is like whenever I eat too much versus just giving myself, sustaining myself, I feel like I've got more energy to finish
because you're not eating too much,
right? And I'm not just like a
First step to changing your mindless eating is becoming aware that you're maybe even doing this and that that's compromising your health goals, and then how to change those once you become aware of it. It quotes like research studies, and it's just overall really great. So when I first started with Noom, it was during the pandemic, and I was like, you know what, I can't even focus on like trying to lose weight right now. I just need to maintain, and I want to make sure that I maintain my health habits. So you can put in your goals of whatever you're trying to achieve or whatever you're trying to do better at. You can do things like you can track your food if you want to. You can track your exercise. There's a little thing that pops up every day and asks you to rate your level of motivation for the day. It's just good to like mentally take note of that. Some days I'll be like, oh, you know what? I really am not motivated today. What can I do to up my motivation? So if you would like to try it out, click the link below and you can take Noom's free health evaluation. It'll give you more information and you can get started if you want to. I highly recommend it. It's really, really great. Better than anything that I've ever looked into before because of the psychology of all of it behind all that they put into making this such a great program. So anyways, thanks to Noom for sponsoring this video. It comes at a perfect time.
And thanks to Noom for keeping you in check with your mental stability during this process.
Yes, all of it, all of it.
It's been wonderful.
Well, yeah, the more you stay on track, like mentally, actively, physically with your food, the better you're gonna feel and the more energy you're gonna have, which is one of our reasons for doing our move the way that we're doing.
Right.
So another reason that we wanted to do the move in two kind of sections was to make sure that we like take things cleaned up. For example, the grill last night.
Yes, got that thing spick and
cleaned
span.
out.
You categorized things in the basement. We had a storage section, a donate / Facebook Market section, and a take section. I think that was helpful too, because previously it was just kind of boxed up and we labeled it and the movers would put it on the truck and it was like, okay, which room does this go to when they got here? But I think that's helped.
Making sure we don't take things we don't need.
Right, and we actually put our hands on it. It's just been so, speaking of mindset, so refreshing and calming to know like, okay, this literally hasn't been used in the past 3 years, or it's still in the boxes that it came in.
Because before, I feel like we just took drawers and literally just put everything in a box, which is why when I cleaned out cabinets back here, I had stuff that expired in 2013. So we wanted to make sure we went through and like physically touched and looked at everything, which brings us to our next point. While we did not hire movers this time, I said 2 moves ago, I will never not move without movers again because that was double negative, whatever, you know what I mean?
Shout out to Roadrunner Moving, by the way, the local company here that moved us last time and offered to move us this time.
They did.
Sorry, we didn't use you this time.
It wasn't a money thing because they were offering to like exchange us making some videos for them, and so that was great. We were like, this is so helpful right now while we're on this debt journey. But as we started packing stuff and like touching stuff, and I was like, okay, I want to make sure we get this taken care of. You're like, oh, I want to list this to sell. And we started moving stuff around ourselves to sell. We were like, I think we could do this ourselves.
We can move a 5,200 square foot house. Who says that?
No big deal.
Who says that? Like, I guess, like, once you have your head on straight, you have a different mindset or outlook to life. Then you start looking into options like, okay, I got a dolly, I got furniture movers. What else do we need? We need 2 big, strong men, 3, 4 big, strong men to lift these things. Well, we can,
big, strong man.
We can like act like that if we just get some of those shoulder straps. They use those, so I looked up some YouTube videos.
Started researching.
Young House Love that recommended some with the wrists, with their arms, and before we knew it, we had them in our mailbox from Amazon, and those things have helped us move the heavy stuff.
They're really great. I posted about them on my Instagram stories. It's not sponsored. If y'all want to see the ones we bought, we'll put a link below because they're super duper helpful. But one of the things as we started moving stuff around, I was like, aside from just at this point in our life, just kind of proving to ourselves that we can do this after everything that we've been through, I feel like this is a huge part of the process of us processing this, finalizing this chapter, physically in a metaphorical and a literal way, feeling the weight of each item.
Yes.
The weight that it takes mentally a toll on you when you have so much stuff, when you have more stuff than you need.
It's very humbling, and I put myself back in my shoes from when we moved, and it was like the weight of the camera and the drone filming these guys lifting these things didn't do any good for me as far as, like you said, the actual physical, like, golly, why? Okay, we're not taking that extra couch. The weight of the camera versus the weight of a couch is totally different when
I remember when we had movers and you were like, I feel like I need to be helping them. Like, I'm just standing here filming and I feel like I need to be helping them. And that's just kind of you and who you are. Is kind of like, I want to take care of my own stuff myself. They took great care of our stuff. It's not that we were worried about them like touching our stuff. You're gonna keep more things if you're not handling them and having to deal with them. It's easy to be like, well, we've got movers, they'll move that out and we'll just hang on to it and it'll be fine. When we're thinking like, we're gonna have to lift this big old thing, or we're gonna have to pack this extra stuff, this is gonna make 2 extra boxes if we just empty this drawer in here. It's like, why do that? But also with each piece, to me, it's probably more me than you because I'm a mental, emotional one. I'm like thinking about, where did we get this piece? Like, what does it mean to me? Is it important to me? Is it something I've enjoyed using? Does it bring me joy? Will it serve me in the future? Physically touching each thing really gives you perspective on what to keep, what not to keep, how to deal with it.
Yeah, there's been several things that were like, okay, I can let this go. And there's been several things like, I've got a little roll top desk that it was my mom's or my mom's dad's or something that's been passed down. Nobody's used it, it's just been in the, but I can't get rid of it. Like, I know Brooks may use it one day, or, you know, it's just gonna be sitting there.
It's a sentimental item more
than anything. Yeah, it takes up a little bit of space, but it's one of those things, I can't get rid of it.
So as we've been touching our stuff, deciding what we're gonna do with it, we have been deciding what to sell, and Cullen has gotten a second job.
Yes, basically. It's also been eye-opening to realize, okay, we've changed our mindset and style, I think, too. Right. So that's been a big aspect to this whole thing, making it easier to say, okay, when we bought this furniture, we really thought, I think at the time, that this is gonna be our forever furniture, that we're gonna move from house to house, because we're always gonna live in a quote-unquote big house, or a house that'll fit this king-size bed.
It was huge furniture.
But it was massive. The dining room table was massive. The china cabinet's massive, heavy, thick, solid wood.
Which is nothing wrong with that. Nothing
wrong with that
if that's your thing.
But it's just not our style now. Things change.
And it's okay. Like, I feel like I've always had the perception that you're not being appreciative, or you're just being wasteful if you buy something to not use forever. Like, you buy it just to use for a short period of time until you want something different, or you want a different style. But it's okay to like have something that serves you for a period of time and then have something else. I really feel like at this point I personally am like starting a whole new life. I feel like we're starting over in our family and our marriage and our surroundings and everything. And so to me, I'm like, these pieces hold a specific memory of the reasons I chose them.
They serve their purpose.
Right, we chose because we liked them, but we kind of chose them based on what we thought other people would think we needed, or what we felt like you're like supposed to have this big fancy bed, or, you know, I don't know.
You saw the last video, you saw that we moved those out and sold the furniture, we sold the dining room table. It's that wispy again, sorry. And in the last video, I mentioned how it's kind of a win-win for us at this point, because we have people moving our stuff out for us, but paying us money for it based on Facebook Market. Just wanted to kind of give some totals here of what we've made on Venmo and Facebook.
Oh, you mean you? Like, you've done it all.
And what we're doing is saving all of the money and repurposing it into the stuff that we're selling. So obviously if we sell our king size bed and our dresser, we're gonna need another bed or dresser, or just another bed, dining room table, new kitchen table, whatever.
We're not just blowing money,
or necessarily paying off debt with it right now. We're just trying to start over and get fresh stuff, get our feet back under us as far as that goes. But still have extra left over that may go towards debt and stuff. And
there's some like moving expenses, unexpected things. I did have somebody put a comment on my Instagram and remind me, because they said, will you make a video about what the moving expenses ended up being, what was unexpected and what was expected. Just like, I knew there would be some like setup fees for utilities, but I didn't really realize how much it would be or anything like that. So that's where some of this money is going. It's so hard to look at this amount of money and not go, we could pay off a whole like line item on our snowball with that.
Yeah, it's just so rewarding to see all this cash. On Facebook Market with just cash, we've made $2,730 in 2 weeks, I think. It has slowed down the process in a sense as far as like coordinating pickup times, but it is so relieving to know that I don't have to pick that piece of furniture up again to put it into a truck just to move down there. to put in a storage unit or donate or whatever.
When we know we're not gonna use it, or we can't use it, or we don't need it.
And then on Venmo, $1,054.69. So for a total of $3,784.69.
Almost $4,000.
That we've just made selling stuff as we've been moving and getting rid of everything.
Starting to, like, as you start doing it, I'm like, okay, we're gonna take this and this, and then as I start getting ready to think about putting it in the truck or like staging it to walk out the door with it, I'm like, I really don't need that. Like, why am I keep thinking like, well, maybe I'll use that lamp. Like, I don't really like it anymore, but maybe, I mean, if we need a lamp. And it's like, no, sell it for $20 and then go get you another one that you like for $15, and then you've made $5. Or get you another one for the same price, and basically you're getting something that you enjoy. There's just no reason to sit there and look at a lamp that you used to like, but now you think is ugly because you feel like you have to use what you have when you can make money. Like, basically, you're not wasting money.
We're kind of running out of time. We're getting down to crunch time as far as the move goes, and so what we've decided to do is anything that I want to post on Facebook Market and sell in this booming area that we're moving to, we're going to take with us. We've got a storage unit for like seasonal decorational stuff and extra beds that we're going to use in the future, roll top desk stuff that won't fit in the house that we want to hold on to.
We don't plan to have a storage unit forever. That's kind of like against what we're trying to do. But right now, as we're renting, our house is smaller. We don't want to get a huge house, but our house is smaller than what we want to have next.
So I'm going to utilize the storage unit as my Facebook Market hub once we get down there as well. And
just put up a sign.
Go through and pick it out and then say, meet me here.
I had to tell you to take a break. I said, please don't post anything else. Like, it takes time, and he's enjoyed it so much, but I'm like, we've got to pack. You can't keep meeting up with people.
I talked about this on our podcast. It's like my new addiction, and Vanessa Gibson DM'd me, and several people have DM'd me, but like, she's like, I'm a savage when I get on there. Like, once you get into it, you start looking for anything. That's why you see banana peels for $500 on Facebook Market, because people are savage when they get on Facebook Market and want to try to sell and make money.
Cullen's got people Venmoing him left and right, and our Venmo, like, we use the same Venmo, so it's on my phone too, and it'll just pop up. Well, I'll be like laying in bed and it's like, so-and-so just sent you $50, and it had like on Venmo, you can put an emoji for what you're paying the person for, and it was a light bulb. I'm like, that man sold a light bulb for $50. How in the world? It was
the girl in the red dress, and that's what, she's like, how are these women just sending you money all the time? Because literally they'll send it to me a week in advance to
hold the item.
To hold it, because I'm like, it's all about how you word it. Very refreshing and rewarding to know that we have cash in hand and Venmo to repurpose ourselves once we get there.
And for the record, he didn't sell a light bulb for $50. It was a chandelier that he sold, but
75.
There wasn't or 75, whatever it was.
A chandelier that we took down from this house when we moved in. $75.
You know that saying I've seen in the debt-free community that says, see all that stuff sitting around your house? That used to be money. Well, it did, like money. If you don't want it, find a way to sell it and use the money to either get you something else you want to replace it or pay off your debt. There you go.
That does it for today's video. Y'all stay tuned to the next one. We'll get to see a little bitty sneak peek of the house. We're going to show you a full house tour probably in the video after that. But you definitely get to see some of the house in the next video and see how we made our move. We're actually headed back down this weekend.
Tomorrow.
Maybe.
Well, depending on when you see this. I don't know when y'all see this.
The final countdown with the fish tank too. Y'all stay tuned for that. We got a lot of work to do, so we'll see y'all. Check us out on Instagram stories and all that stuff.
Follow us there and you'll get more of a recent update.
Thanks for watching. Catch you on the
side. Bye. We're going to put this in the bank.
Out.
Don't come rob us. We're not going to be here.
Whoa.
Did I flip the counter?
Yes.